Hello, my name is Lauren, and welcome to the Theoretical YouTube channel, home of making theories about movies that came out months ago. Yeah, so this probably isn't all that relevant anymore, but who enjoyed Ready Player One? I thought it was great. It's the only movie I've actually seen in IMAX 3D, and that was a fantastic experience. They even got away with weird CGI, cause, video game. Okay, so if you somehow still haven't seen the video or read the book, but still clicked on this thumbnail, here's a little bit of basic setup. Done really rushed and poorly because it doesn't really matter for what I'm trying to do here. Also, spoilers. You've got Wade Watts. This kid is trying to find an Easter egg along a scavenger hunt in this video game world called the OASIS, where he has an avatar named Parzival. He has a friend named H who has these other friends named Daito and Cho, none of which are totally honest about their avatars, except Daito, he's pretty much the same. They meet this girl, Artemis, aka Sam, and they go on the quest to find the egg by solving a series of puzzles and challenges set by the game's creator, James Halliday. Also, Wade falls in love with Sam. She gets all defensive about a birthmark that lands her in the same hideous disfigurement category as Gerard Butler's Phantom and that kid from Wonder, but then her character development decides to no longer exist, so that's fine. There's also these other characters called Sixers who were hired by a company to get the egg first, so the evil guys in the movie are Director Krennic from Rogue One and the main character from the Emoji Movie. And it's not distracting at all. Yeah, so the rest of the film is about the trials they face to find the egg and inherit the Oasis and keep it away from product placement and ads the evil corporation wants to inflict on the gamers. Because, that's totally different from heavy-handed references to bank on the fact that your audience remembers the 80s. Right? And almost none of that matters now. What you really need to know is that the people from Ready Player One love the Oasis because it provides an escape from the harsh realities they face in the real world. Things like extreme poverty and a horrible lifestyle for anyone but the uppity upper class, hence the evil corporations. Different characters have their own relationships with money, but it is the primary motivation for Wade. He wants to win to be rich.
She needs to sort out her priorities.
Don't worry, he figures out some stuff and decides to win for the people. But exactly how bad is the lifestyle of Ready Player One? How much money does everything cost in a post-war future where people abandon their problems to live in a video game world? Let's just say it's pretty bad, guys. But Lauren, how are we supposed to figure out how much anything costs in a video game world? Well, random viewer, that's where things become remarkably convenient for us. Why, it's as easy as filling a tank of gas. Unless you live in Oregon. At the beginning of the film, Wade basically states that money in the game is the same as in real life. There are real-world consequences for dying and losing all your stuff. So, any money that we see the avatars make is basically like a paycheck. What, it's easier to understand than Bitcoin. But here we run into another problem because we need to be able to link the economy of Ready Player One to our own. Luckily, the movie makes so many references to the past that we can go ahead and do our calculations anyway. During one of the race scenes, Wade shows off his DeLorean from the Back to the Future franchise. He doesn't have enough money for gas though, so he has to collect coins from racers who've died. We even see his tank fill up in the film. So if we assume that Wade's tank was totally empty to start with, and that his car is a real representation of an actual DeLorean, then we can figure out how many coins it takes to fill a tank of gas. Now this was really super hard to count, so these numbers may not be totally accurate, but I counted 56 coins flying into Wade's car. But how much is a gold coin worth in the Oasis? Let's assume that the coins are made of solid gold, because what else would they be made out of? So the worth of an Oasis credit should be based on the gold standard. The gold standard is a system of backing money where the worth of the currency is defined in gold. I don't think any country currently uses this system today, but I also don't think it's commonplace to use hunks of gold as currency anymore, so if we can determine the size of an Oasis coin, we should be able to tell how much it's worth. So I couldn't find the exact length of a DeLorean, but I did figure out that they use 14-inch rims, and then I discovered something about tires. They have rubber on them! So then I did some screen measurements to figure out that the total diameter of the tire is about 18 inches and then used that to scale the scene in which the coins fly into the car. Using the equation to find the volume of a cylinder, V equals pi r squared h, we found that an Oasis coin is 2.0235 cubic inches or 5.139 cubic centimeters. Now, the weight of gold is about 19.3 grams per cubic centimeter, so a single coin is about 99.96 grams. As of June 23, 2018, the worth of gold is about $40.88 per gram, so a single coin should be worth about $4,055.13. But Wade uses 56 coins to fill his tank, meaning that it would cost him $227,087.42, or a whopping $16,659.63 per gallon. The current rates for gasoline in Columbus, Ohio are about $2.40, which means that a single dollar today would be worth $6,941.52 in the year 2044. And then he does it again, and since the meter fills up to about the same amount, full, we can double all of our previous numbers and come up with that a single dollar is now worth $13,883.02. That's right, almost 14,000 times more expensive, which, given this takes place 26 years from now, gives us a minimum inflation rate of 44%. To put that in perspective, the current inflation rate of the United States is only about 1.9%. But hey, if we're talking about inflation here, we're kind of leaning towards the topic and issue of hyperinflation, a situation where the inflation rate exceeds 50% for at least a month. And of course, someone here in the comment section is going to mention that 44% is less than 50, but realistically, 40% is an extremely unpractical number. Because of the wars that led to the poverty that Wade lives in, it is highly unlikely that the economy has steadily been draining away for the last quarter of a century. More likely, there was a huge post-war drop and then a more mild decline in the aftermath. In short, 40% is nowhere close to the theoretical maximum we're talking about here. If this scenario models anything we've seen from our own world history, it's not such a bad idea to draw a parallel between this situation and one of the worst cases of hyperinflation known to man. In 1946, in post-World War II Hungary, inflation rates reached about 13.6 quadrillion percent per month. In other words, about 350% per day. Per day! Prices were practically doubling every 15 hours. Similar cases occurred in Zimbabwe in 2008, where prices basically doubled every 24 hours, and Yugoslavia's 1994 recession, where inflation rates rose 313 million percent in a single month. The effects of hyperinflation are devastating, and you can see what toll it took on the characters. For instance, Wade is forced to live in the stacks, which are clearly unsteady and dangerous. And Sam's father owed so much money to a private company that he was taken and forced to work in a labor camp until he died, leaving her orphaned and forced to live in an underground society. It kind of makes sense now why people would choose virtual reality over the miserable truths that they've been given. It's just not worth living a normal life, especially when the prize for an Easter egg hunt is a $500 billion credit fortune. Oh yeah, how much was Halliday's prize worth again? Well, in addition to passing on the ownership of the OASIS, Halliday also promised the first person to find his Easter egg his entire fortune, which Ready Player One Wiki tells me is about $500 billion credits. So if today's dollar is worth $13,883, Halliday's bank account 26 years from now is filled with $7 quadrillion. And I didn't even round that much. Which, by the way, all gets passed down to our good old friend Wade Watts by the end of the story. So maybe those priorities weren't all that straight after all. Wade Watts is officially the richest man who has ever lived, far surpassing his competition, the Mali King Mansa Musa I, whose fortune peaked at about $400 billion. And the richest man today, Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, is nothing compared to Wade, with only $112 billion. Oh, and before anyone mentions it in the comments, Wade's numbers destroy his competition before we figured out what he'd be worth today. Even with the insane inflation rates of Ready Player One, $500 billion is still an incredible amount of money. A single person cannot count to $1 billion in their lifetime. This is 500 times that. 500 people cannot count to Wade's bank account. And yet that is still not my favorite part of researching this video, because do you remember how Ogden Morrow asked for a paycheck of a single quarter per year? Well, he's actually turning down $3,500. Maybe not much for an annual salary, but hardly something I'd just leave on the sidewalk. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video, and we really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and ring the little bell icon to get notifications when our newest videos come out. And if you haven't yet, be sure to check out our Twitter page. You can find us at theory_central. We just started, so you could be one of the first to give us a follow. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.
If you're watching this, I'm dead.